Well, guys, football season's almost here, isn't it? Are y'all noticing something that I'm starting to notice over the last few years? Back in the 90s, when I played ball, the late 80s, mid 90s, you practiced after school, you practiced till dark most nights. We was in a small town. Sometimes they'd even line up some cars and turn on some headlights, for us to practice. We were practicing from, let's just say, 3:15 to dark, whenever that would be. Usually around here it would be around 7, 8 o'clock at night. Well, then when my kids started playing ball, we're talking about high school ball, practices got a little bit shorter. They got out there a little bit earlier. And now the kids, they're maybe practicing an hour and a half, 2 hours a day, but they also have practice in the mornings. They have practice during school. They now allow even small schools to set a whole time period up during school for them to practice football and to work out. So they're not practicing that much after school no more. Something else I'm noticing. Some of y'all, if you ever played sports like I did, like I said, let's say pre-2000s, the 90s, 80s, 70s, and on back. Your parents didn't come in the field house. The coach, was his responsibility when you was on that field. Parents weren't allowed on the field. They weren't really, I guess they could watch practice, but they weren't like all up in the team meetings and things like that. The parents didn't feed us or anything like that. Nowadays, you're seeing parents, moms in the field houses, cooking for them and everything, fixing them meals, which is great. But that also started right around the time of participation trophies. Everybody's a winner. Everybody gets a trophy, right? You're going to say, what's this got to do with a prepping channel? It has a lot to do with it because the youth that's coming up, they're coming up in the mind frame of, there's no losers in life. You don't lose. You win at everything, And when you get older and you get a job and you get fired, what are you going to do then, right? But I'm noticing that a lot here lately. That it's a lot of the moms. They're up in the field houses. They're at practices. They're doing all kind of stuff with the team. And back when we was in school, that didn't happen. The coach ran the team military style. Really, a lot of y'all know what I'm talking about. That's my age or older. It was a military style practice. You got yelled at. You got in trouble, all that stuff, and a lot of the drills we used to do now has been completely outlawed. They're not allowed to do that no more. They're not allowed to hit like that. They're required to have water breaks now. I don't know the exact amount of times, but probably at least every hour they're supposed to have water breaks. A lot of y'all my age and older remember the days that we were told we didn't get no water, and that's the way it was. But, it's great that the parents can be involved in it, but I think they're being involved too much. It's these kids they're coddled now. They're babied. Is what it is. They're being babied. And when they get older and they get a job, they get fired. They won't know what to do because everybody's a winner when you're young, right? As long as you do your best, that's all that matters, right? Well, what when you get a job and your best isn't good enough and you get fired, what then? Are you going, well, the boss hates me, he don't like me, they don't get along with me. It's always somebody else's fault, right? It's always somebody else's fault what happens. But what's your thoughts on this? Do you think parents have too much involvement? And when I say involvement, I mean physically in and around. I'm just using football because it's football season coming up here and I'm seeing a lot of posts that, let me know your thoughts on it. Do you think they're too much involved in it as far as hands-on, and it's not like it used to be where the coaches, they ran the team, what they said goes. They yelled at their players. You got in trouble if you messed up. Nowadays everybody needs a safe place, right? You can't yell at somebody. You can't. I would hate to be coaching nowadays. I mean, how would you correct a player? Because nowadays, if you make a player run, that's singling that player out, and technically they probably would say he's being mean to him, wouldn't they? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on it because I want to hear from this one. I mean, if you're a mom and you're in your kids, at their football practices, you're in the field house and all that stuff, let me know why you're doing it. And if you're not, you're one of these parents that say you're on the football field, the coach has control of you. Don't holler for mama or daddy when you're on the football field. The coach has control of you. Let me know what you think about this. Comment on this video. If you're still watching and you're not going to subscribe, hit thumbs down on your way out the door. Keep your head on a swivel, be aware of your surroundings at all times, protect yourself and your family at all times. At that moment, you're the only person that can do it. It's football season. Let me know your thoughts on it.